Hi guys, Betsy here with Unique Paper 15. Thanks so much for stopping by today. Today's video is going to be me making these lollipops, but not these actual lollipops, but we're going to make some lollipops together. I just wanted to show you these three that I've already made, and some of you have probably already received these. If not, you will be soon, and we're going to make a few more today together. And I use three different variations on how I make them, so we're going to go over it together. I take out my trim and scoreboard, and this is my We Are Memory Keepers. It's important to put your brackets down because when you score it, if you don't, your scoreboard will buckle, if that makes sense, because we're going to be scoring right in the middle. So I just take one of my 12 by 12s, and what you're going to do is trim 2-inch sections. Now if you don't have 12 by 12 paper, don't fret. I use smaller paper also. So we're going to cut 2 at 2 inches. Now we're going to take those and we're going to cut them down to 11 inches each. So you see, don't fret if you don't have 12 inch. Then we're going to score at every ½ inch. It's very, very simple. Just score along the ½ inch, and you see that's why we had to bracket the back there, because you score right in the middle. Now that we've scored at the ½ inch, I like to just really take the first fold and make sure it's really tight, and then just back and forth like an accordion. I use a little container to keep it cramped like that so that it stays more accordion-like, and I let those sit there while I do the rest. Now I'm coordinating my colors. This is the girl I've cut and colored, and she's gray and teal, so I'm using those kind of colors. So take out circle dies, and I chose my largest, and I'll show you here the size, and then the next. Okay, the largest is 3½ inches, and I'm showing you that here. So the largest circle will be 3½ inches, and that's going to be for your front and back, and here is the middle, which is 3 inches, and you'll see what I mean. So that's going to be the middle, or the front is what I was referring to at 3 inches, and the white is the front and back. So you're going to cut 2 of the large circle die, which is in my case 3½ inches, just regular. I think this is 110-pound cardstock, and then this is regular cardstock, and this is the 3-inch circle, and I'm just going to cut one of those because that's just for the front. So now we have our accordions that have been sitting for a little bit. I'm going to take my stick it tape here, or express it, and what I do is I find a good area for them to overlap. I put the stick it tape there, adhere it, but then I cut off that tag. I don't butt them up exactly because it leaves this really weird wrinkle, so I overlap them so they fit perfectly, and then I cut off the little tag there, and you'll see what I mean. Cramp them all back together, and now what you want to start doing is putting the stick it tape on the back of your circles. Some people use hot glue gun, but I tried that method and it left my pieces like warped and wonky. And I found that with the stick it tape, or score tape I should say, it works better for me. So I just go along the edges, and then again the internal edges, because you just want to touch some of those pieces. So here we go. We're going to squeeze it all in together to the middle and then push down like boom. And if you have trouble with that, you can use your finger to almost like kick out the leg of the bottom, and it'll fall down. I'm showing you my front, my back, and then my front designer piece. So now you have to figure out which way is going to look the most even, because it is going to shift a little bit. So you need to use your hands to manipulate it into the tightest circle that you can, or if you want to stretch it out more, you can do that too. Depends on how much gap you'd like to show of the accordion. So the front is on, and remember this is just the score tape. And now the back, just press it on, and it sticks really nice. For me, it's better than the hot glue. So here's our cut and colored. She matches the teal and the gray, and we're going to make this thing all the way together. So I'm going to show you the stamping, the embellishments, and some of my other methods. Okay, so this is that new E6000 glue. You guys are very familiar with the E6000, but this is that new repositionable one. These are the straws. I got some from the Dollar Tree and some from my friend Pat. She sent me some. And so I'm just gonna pick a color that goes nice. So I'm going to pick this guy right here, this teal polka dot. Matches the front dashboard, why not? So before you get started decorating, I recommend that you go ahead and adhere your straw. Now remember, there is a hole in the center of this circle. So when we push the straw through, it's going to go all the way to the top. Pick the area that you would like to be your bottom, and then go ahead and put your E6000 in that crevice. And you can see here, you need just a very little amount, because we're going to take this straw and push it all the way in and then twist it. So it's going to be fully covered with that E6000. Now go ahead and start decorating while that dries, and it dries quite fast. Put this on as centered as you can, and now we're going to embellish it. So that girl is in her bathrobe and morning gear, and she's got a cup of coffee, so it lends itself to something coffee-ish. So I'm going to pull out my black soot Distress Oxide ink, and I'm going to stamp out a couple of these Papercraft Repeat. And then I have this cute little stamp set I got from my girlfriend, and there's one that says, "But first, coffee." And I thought that was so cute, and it also has some coffee beans. So I stamped that out, but I don't like the way that the oxide is stamping the image. So I pull out my VersaFine, and boom, it gives me a much more clear image. So I'm good with that. Now I'm going to take out my brown memento and do the coffee beans just next to some of those sayings. I always like to stamp out a few because you never know which one's going to be the best. So now I'm just looking for some very small oval die cuts. I don't want to do circle because the Lollipop's a circle and it's got dots and the straw's got dots, so I want to do something different. So I'm taking these ovals and just cutting out those two little sentiments that we did together. And I'm going to decide where I want them to go, but first I want to look around with all my other embellishments. So I'm going to, maybe offset her a little bit. Take out some of my 3M foam tape, and I'm going to give her some dimension. Just pop her up a little bit. She doesn't need a lot. She's very small. So I'm going to off-center her right there. Now I'm going to put this Papercraft Repeat flat on the lollipop. Now I'm looking for something that is a good embellishment. And those scissors are screaming out to me, craft. So they're large. They're going to help occupy a lot of that gappy space. So that's what I decided to go with. I think it looks nice with the gray and teal anyway. So now I see here I've got some Doodlebug, epoxy stickers. I'm deciding which one matches her mug. She's got a gray mug. She's got coffee. Okay, we're gonna go with the teal one. So I'm deciding on the teal. I'm gonna give it a little bit of adhesive just because I don't want it to come off in the mail. Now, another friend sent me these really cool adhesive sequins. I've never used them. So I'm using the very light pink and the teal, and they really went well. So I'm just putting 3 on, that whole rule of 3 in the triangle. Now I have these little adhesive brads. I'm going to take a very little one, and I'm going to put it on the comma of Papercraft Repeat. Now I'm deciding how I want these scissors to go. And I think that's their home, so we're good. Now we're going to put the other one that says "But first, coffee" on the back. I think that's kind of cute. And there she is. This is our final version. See how cute? Very simple, but first coffee. Okay, that lollipop is done. I'm showing you can embellish those accordions if you'd like, and I'll show you at the end some that I've done. Like I've put sequins and other things in there. Okay, next one. This one I know has already made it to its destination, so we're going to hope that that person's watching. So I'm showing you, these are my 2 backs and my front. Now I'm doing this a little different. The white is the back, the cactus is the front, and the white is the dashboard. So again, a 12 by 12, and I'm going to cut it down to 2 inches. We did the exact same thing on the first one. And I will tell you that I've done another variation where I've done it in 3 sections if I didn't have this right length. Now we're cutting it down to 11, same thing. But you can use more sections than 2. I've done it on a few different lollipops. Again, just scoring at every 1/2 inch. The same, the same, the same. Okay, now we've scored. I'm going to just take my bone folder, score that first ridge. I think it helps set the accordion. And I'm going to put it in my little doohickey there and let it sit. Don't know if there's any real truth to that, but I feel like it gives it a tighter accordion while I'm working. So now I'm going to go ahead and take my score tape and do the exact same thing and put it in, I guess, angles is what you would call it, across this front piece. Removing the adhesive, very simple. These lollipops might look like a difficult thing to do, but they're not. I mean, it's basically paper piecing. It's a lot of fun too. I think they make like a very nice, I don't know, presentation. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and put the score tape on the fold there, adhere it, and cut off that little tag. I just think it makes a tighter accordion if you do it this way versus just butting up those two edges. You get this really weird wonky edge. So now we're gonna crimp it all together just like the other one, making sure everybody's nice and folded, and then push, boom. So here's our front, making sure it's centered. So you see I didn't do a white front, I did a cactus front. So here's the back, E6000. We're gonna pick a straw and we're gonna pick a place. So I did the orange and white, adding the E6000. Just like before, push it all the way through and then twist it so it's coated. Now I'm pulling out my embellishments and my cut and colored. So now I'm giving it a white dashboard so that it has a hint of those cactus. So this says Adventure is Calling. It's from a little MFT stamp set that I think is so cute. So what I decided to do on this one is take that Adventure is Calling, and I'll show you here in a second. But I'm trying to find coordinating colors. I don't know what I want to stamp this on. I'm literally making this from scratch with you guys. I'm deciding, I don't like that yellow. I'm trying to match the fox and the orange. So I decide right here that these orange polka dots are cool. I take this stamp and I give it a couple little cuts so that I can make it into an arch. And I need to make it arch that white circle right there. It has to be perfect. So again, the Distress Oxide, I'm giving it a few test stamps. Looks good, I'm going for it. And thank God it worked. Adventure is Calling, and it looks like it was meant to be a little wonky, but that's okay. Art is not perfect, it's an expression. Okay, so I know I want to use the fox that I colored with the frog in the basket. So cute. I have these little felt cactuses, or cacti, and that I got from Stamps Alive. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the fox and frog up on some 3M foam tape. And I'm going to place him pretty much smack dab in the middle. You'll see, because I mean that is like the main piece of this lollipop. But I want to put some cacti behind him to act like, you know, accent that background piece. And I want it to look like he's going on a journey. I give a little bit of foam tape because I'm layering these on top of each other. And I want it to fit right. So he's got two cactus behind him, and I'm going to give him another one in the front so it really looks like he is just on a journey. And I'm trying to find that perfect placement, and I think we're good right over here. So now I'm going to place a cloud because, you know, he's on a journey. I'm giving a little bit of adhesive on that 3M foam tape because some of it goes up against that felt, and I just really want it to stick. So it's looking cute. I like it. Now I got to place this cloud, and right there. Okay, we're good. So now I have these really cool Stamps Alive gems. They're really pretty. And so I pick a green one and a yellow one, and I just place it wherever I feel like. Nothing really like smart behind that. Okay, and this is that guy. Isn't he cute? I love him. He's one of my favorites. I ended up giving him to one of my girlfriends that she's a fox head. So hopefully she enjoyed him. I think he's adorable. Okay, so these are the two we've made already. And we made these from typical cardstock. And the last one, this is corrugated paper. It's not 12 by 12 as you might recognize. It's 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to show you how I do it. It's the exact same concept. you're just gonna go ahead and go to your 2 inches, just like you would with anything. That's the main thing to remember, 2 inches. That's what's gonna give you a really nice accordion. You could change the size, I guess, if you really wanted to. I don't know how big of a lollipop you want, but I wouldn't go smaller because you still need your center circle pieces to go on the front. So keep that in mind, that the smaller you go, you need to downsize your circle. So I'm just trimming out 2 2-inch pieces from this corrugated paper that I got from the Dollar Tree. And now it's already at 11, so I'm just going to score at the 1/2 inch, just like we have with every other lollipop. And it's starting to look different, right? Isn't that kind of a cool look? It looks like it's weaved. I like that that look. It's different. You're not going to see that in every lollipop. So now we're done with our trim and scoreboard, and we are going to score the first fold and accordion it up, and look for a little doohickey, and boom. And now this paper is a little thicker. It likes to jump out of your hands. It gives you a hard time, but show them who's boss and shove them in the little thing. Okay, so now these are going to be my front, back, and dashboard. So I want a really deep blue, because you may see that little Viking over there. That's who I'm deciding to use as my cut and colored. And I'm piecing these 2 pieces together. It's some anchors with some whales, and that really screams Viking to me. So I'm thinking Nordic, I don't know, Nordic, you know, Viking, and I know exactly who I'm gonna send this lollipop to. So I'm taping those guys together because, you know, it's 2 pieces of paper, but all the same, I'm just making a 3-inch circle. So boom, it's done. So now I'm gonna throw that onto the front piece, which is the blue. But first, let's go ahead and adhere these accordions together. And you see I just trimmed off that piece. I'm gonna add it together, just making one big paper chain. Again, only using score tape here. I am putting a little extra care because it's corrugated, so I need to make sure it's, you know, sticking. Now this guy you need to give some attention because it wants to pop back out. So fuss with it a little bit. You see how I kicked the legs out from under that one? It was more hard, more difficult. So I'm putting a weight on it to keep it down. So I'm putting my score tape on all of the angles, just like we did with all the other ones. And covering it really well because I want it to stick to that corrugated paper. Removing the adhesive, backing, and finding the center, and boom, slapping it on. So now we've got our front. Just make sure that thing sticks, and now do the exact same for the back. I don't know why I started using my tape gun there. I lost my mind. Okay, so score tape. Use your score tape. Some of you may do better with your hot glue. I didn't. I thought they came out warped and wonky, and I will never do that again. I'm just not very good with the glue gun. So this is my back. Okay. Now this little, well, I'm gonna pick my straw first. I'm deciding on the teal because it looks like water. Adding the E6000, putting the straw in, twisting it around, making sure it's in the center, and let it sit. Now here's what I'm showing you. It went away so fast, but here you go. I colored this straw black with Distress Oxide. It is the exact same straw. Do you see this? That was the blue and white, or teal and white straw. I just took my Distress Oxide with a little foam pad, and I painted it with one of the foam pads. And that's all you do, is just cover the whole entire straw. So if you don't have the color you want, you can make it with your inks. Very easy. Just keep that in mind. Okay, now we're gonna add the dashboard, which we just made together because I wanted to have something cool. So that guy centered. Okay, we've got the Viking. Now, here's our embellishments. And we're almost done, guys. This is the last one. So I stamp him out because in his beard, it says, "I've taken a Viking to you." So boom, I'm gonna get that saying. I want it to be nice and crisp. So I'm gonna use my VersaFine. For some reason, the oxide doesn't give me a really crisp stamp. So I like that one. And clean off my stamp. Now, I'm going to trim it out. Just the sentiment. And it's kind of cool because it's in the shape of the beard. So I'm going to take a very small circle, and I cannot believe this worked. This was literally just fool's luck that this worked. So I take a sailboat, and it literally measures up perfect because the circle die wasn't going to cut it. It measures up perfectly to the bottom of the sailboat. I could not believe this. This is just, you'll see here in a second, I'm popping him up on foam tape, just like all for other cut and colored. Then I off-center him a little bit, but I'm measuring this boat up, and it matches the top of his beard, the size perfect. I take a brown Distress ink and I just color the edges. They give it some dimension and make it look, you know, more crisp because it is a beard, and I'm sure someone will pick up on that. So I'm going to adhere to the back of this boat, and you'll see here. Add the boat, put the sentiment, give a little more foam tape on this guy because I just felt like he didn't have enough. They give you like one little dot, and boom. Did that work out or what? Okay, now I'm messing around with these bows. I'm like, should I put a bow in the bottom of his beard, the top? No, I'm not liking that at all. No bow. The Viking has no bow. So there's a little pine tree on one of my sticker sheets. It's for the outdoors. It went perfect with this. Now again, another girlfriend sent me these adhesive sequins, and I want to mix them with sequins I already have because I want to stack them again. So I'm taking these really pretty deep greens, and you'll see here I mix them with some other greens. I'm going to adhere him on so I know where I can put everybody. So now I have these lighter greens, and you'll see here I just put a little bit of adhesive in the middle of the bigger one and then add some more. I'm trying the gold. Now I'm looking for more green because again, add adhesive. We're just doing the roll of 3 here, but I'm getting around that roll of 3 and able to add more sequins because I'm stacking them in the same position. It gives it more dimension and it gives it more color. So again, the lighter green on top of the darker green. Now I'm looking for another color, looking for a little gold. So I put a little gold one on top, and we're good. So now I'm going to show you this guy here in a second. Okay. Now you see how I layered the 3 sequins. The boat, I've taken a Viking to you. I'm taking off a piece of something. You see, it's very simple. It's cute, it's simple, and the corrugated paper, it makes it look so neat. That was our last lollipop. Here are the 3 we've made together. The Coffee Craft Repeat, Adventure is Calling, and I've taken a Viking to you. They're very, very easy to make. I hope you guys can make some of your own. And if you have any questions, definitely put them down in the comments below. I would love to answer them. I'm showing you here, you can decorate your accordions like these. You see I've added some sequins in these. These are some options if you'd like. I layered that. Those are 2 different cardstocks. I made that one. And these are just some other ideas. You can put some gems in there. So have fun with it, you guys. Do whatever you'd like. I mean, the possibilities are endless. I think that Halloween's a great time for these. I think Christmas, Thanksgiving, anything. I am in love with these lollipops. So one last view, Coffee Craft Repeat. The back, but first coffee. And you can add whatever you'd like there. We left that blank, but you can add whatever you'd like. Adventure is Calling. Very cute. And this is a great idea to use with all of the cut and colors you have. And then I've taken a Viking to you. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks so much. Bye.